Welcome to Pod Maverick After Dark. I am Kirk Henderson, joined by Josh Bowe. We are coming to you a little bit after 10 o'clock on October 11th. It's a Saturday night. The Dallas Mavericks just played their second preseason game, this time to the Charlotte Hornets. They fell 120 to 116. And Josh, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing okay, hanging in there.
Let's not lie. Though both of us had shit-tastic days.
This was just the topper we needed to.
I gotta tell you, man, I dread bad basketball. Like, I love summer league just because it's like the concept. But then there's something, and then I look forward to summer league, and then the games start, and then I'm like, I hate summer league. It's really been the same thing with preseason, where I was so happy to have basketball, and then I sort of dreaded this game. And this game was pretty fun, I thought. Like,
in a vacuum. I mean, it felt like a real game more than preseason games normally do. Like, a lot of players played. It was definitely more real of a game than the OKC game.
Yes.
Where OKC played, basically no one. Like, Charlotte played, both teams played their starters deep into the third quarter. I think the Mavs played theirs through the third quarter. So it was at least something, felt more tangible. Saturday's game against the Thunder was fun, but that felt like a scrimmage in a sense. But boy, I don't think you could have scripted two preseason games back to back to kind of show what the highs of this team could potentially look like, and then what the lows of this team could look like. So I'm curious where you want to start first, because we could start positive, we could start negative, we could start in the middle.
Let's walk through the first 2/3 of the game before the team started to clear their bench, because I think it's important to provide a little bit of context. I know, like, recapping a preseason game probably sounds stupid, but Kid talked about in the pregame how he was going to give more run to his starters, and obviously the Charlotte, or at least like your top half of the rotation guys, Charlotte did the same. So I think, like, you'd mentioned this, like, we got a lot of like actual preview of what, if this was a real game, we would have seen more of what we saw those first two quarters. And the Mavericks came out and just didn't defend. And we know that the team is built to basically stop paint penetration and force long jumpers. But if you're going to force long jumpers, you also have to defend long jumpers. And the Hornets came out and shot 6 of 10 from three. I mean, just torched the Mavericks. And that torching sort of broke down their interior defense, because they started scrambling more on the outside. At least this is what I saw. I'm interested in your take. And all of a sudden they were down 17 points. Like, it was bad. So what did you see there early on?
It was, it's the stuff that we talked about that you worry about with playing a big team, is what happens when they go against a team that likes to spread it out and shoot a bunch of threes. And you look at the Charlotte starting lineup, you look at like a player like LaMelo Ball. I mean, they played a pretty small, they started their second round rookie Kalkbrenner at center, and then Miles Bridges and Brandon Miller at the wings, and then they played LaMelo Ball and Colin Sexton in their backcourt. They didn't really play a traditional quote unquote power forward, although, to be honest, in today's NBA, Anthony Davis might be seen as the untraditional power forward, considering he's the one who kind of sticks out at the four more than when you compare it to other teams. But they played a small, fast team with four shooters and spread things out. And LaMelo looked awesome. And that's what you kind of worry about, because you look at the Mavericks starting backcourt and it's D'Angelo Russell and Klay Thompson, and it's like, who is guarding LaMelo Ball there? And it's like, do you want to put
big too? Like, he's a 6'8" guy.
Yeah.
Who takes crazy fucking shots too. Those one-legged threes.
Oh yeah, he made a one-legged three. That was wild. But yeah, I mean, they spread them out, and the big thing was they spread them out and made threes, but they also got a ton of offensive rebounds. They had 15 offensive rebounds. A lot of that, 2 of them from the starting lineup. Hold on, I'm trying to look. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm trying to see. Yeah, a lot of them were from the starting lineup.
I mean, Kalkbrenner
had 2, Miles Bridges had 2, Kalkbrenner had 4, Sexton had 1. So here's what I saw is, so not only, this is a problem the Mavericks have to figure out if they're going to be dedicated to this, and they seem to be, because I haven't seen Anthony Davis play 1 minute at the 5 in these 2 preseason games. So they are seemingly going all in on this. so you got the floor being spread out and having to make, picking and choosing Davis or Lively to have to guard the perimeter because one of them has to. If you put Davis on the 5, then that means Lively has to guard someone who's beyond the 3-point line. If you do it the other way around, that means Davis is there. So that's a challenge because Davis, at his age, is just the older he has gotten, and not to say that he's old, but just the later, the farther we get from his rookie season, the more uncomfortable he has been guarding out on the perimeter.
We're talking Davis.
Yeah, Davis.
I love that you're doing this. You're trying to be polite about this. Like,
I am trying to be polite because I'm
this.
trying to save my ammo because it's going to get bad if this goes the way we think it goes. By December.
Yeah,
it could. We'll see. So I'm saving the ammo because I don't want to waste it now if it gets worse, or if it just doesn't happen at all. I don't want people to be like, "Oh, well, you don't know ball." But go ahead. But I was going to say there's another point I want to bring up.
Go ahead, go for it.
Okay, I was going to say, so there's guarding the 3-point line when you've got two bigs, traditional bigs. That part's a problem. They're going to have to work through that. We knew that. The one thing I don't think was talked about enough is Charlotte had 15 offensive rebounds. You just kind of pencil in, the Mavericks are playing big. They're going to be good at rebounding. Like, that's the one thing we can rely on that. Like, let's just mark that in ink and move on and focus on everything else. I don't know. I think they're going to struggle at times rebounding. And I don't think it's going to be as easy as you would think, just kind of using caveman logic, bigger team gets more rebounds. Because where are, 40%, 38% of shots coming from now? They're coming from 3. And all teams do this.
I mean, in some teams it goes well above 40%.
Yeah, well above 40 to 45. I mean, the Celtics might shoot half of their shots be threes this season.
That's right.
That means more rebounds are bouncing out to the 3-point line. And when more rebounds are bouncing out to the 3-point line, I don't know how much size necessarily matters in those scenarios. Not to say it doesn't matter.
No, but it's a different kind of rebounding. It just is.
You need speed and you need length. And if you've got two guys that want to stay near the paint on defense, it's going to be hard to grab rebounds when they're bouncing out to the 3-point line.
I love Tanya. Tanya in the chat is just carving up the Mavericks. She's frustrated. And I very much appreciate that. And I will say it's like the long rebounding. I use my son as a reference point because I think teaching basketball to someone is so fascinating because there's so much of this stuff that I just sort of know reflexively. And he and I have had to talk about rebounding because it's like if the shot's coming from far away, the likelihood that the rebound goes far, it's the way the geometry works. If you're shooting a layup, the ball's probably, if you're shooting like a short corner shot, the ball's coming off the far side. If you're shooting a corner shot, that ball can go lots of places. Dorian Finney-Smith used to kill me with this because some of his corner 3-point shots were effectively turnovers because he would somehow like careen the ball so badly off the front of the rim while shooting from the corner. We're getting a little like, it's going to be interesting talking about this team because you get into a lot of the math and like basketball theory. And we just haven't had to do that in a long time. So talking about this team is going to be really fun, weird, sometimes frustrating. And tonight is kind of a good example of this because the point that I wanted to make is like the Mavericks get down like 31-13 or something like that. Maybe it was 30-13. Yeah. Najee Marshall hits a couple of free throws, or the Mavericks, somebody hit a couple of free throws. Christie hits a kind of a corner 3, which the Mavericks then down 12, and Charlotte calls a timeout. The Mavericks pull Anthony Davis and put in PJ Washington, and I don't even remember who else was in besides PJ, AD, and
PJ Cooper and Lively.
PJ Cooper and Lively, and then things got really fun, really fun. The Mavericks blitzed back in a hurry because all of a sudden they're switching everything on defense. The ball's moving a little more on offense, just a little more. And it's not like decisively better, but there wasn't as much ball stoppage and things were just kind of flowing. PJ in particular was dealing. PJ, when he attacks the center of the floor, he found Lively at least twice during that game for different, just what I called on my Twitter feed, kind of big man clinic. Like if I'm showing a young big man in modern basketball what I want you to do, it's, roaming with your hands up, being active, and just, if you're open and you trust your ball handlers, like you go to the right spot on the floor, you're going to get the ball. I really loved the way Lively played today. We'll continue to kind of talk about that as we work our way through the game. But that grouping got the Mavericks back in the game.
Yep.
Second
That
quarter
lineup looks
starts.
sweet.
Oh, yeah. Second quarter starts, and we had the second straight Cooper offensive flurry where he does three things in about 4 possessions that make you go, oh, okay. Where he hits a three, he finishes an alley-oop, and he basically puts LaMelo on skates and pulls up from about 15 feet and knocks one down. I think he had most of his points in that quarter. The Mavericks worked their way back in it, but because of the way that the team was rebounding or really wasn't rebounding, they weren't able to hold on to the lead for long. The Mavericks hit 2 end of quarter shots in this game, which made in each point in the game, both in the end of the first quarter and the end of the first half, made the game feel closer than it was. Sort of my take, because again, this was when they're playing real minutes. They're trying to win. Like they're it's at that point they're playing it, in as much to figure out who they are and to work through some of these kinks. The second quarter was a lot more watchable, at least from the offensive end. But again, the Mavericks sort of fell back into a bit of a malaise offensively, where the 3-point shots is just they're either coming from Klay Thompson or that's it. I mean, I know other guys made threes tonight, but the Mavericks are going to have, and I wrote this, and we're going to talk about this at length. Like, this is going to be sort of a talking point for me this year, and from you, and really anybody that wants to talk about the math behind this. If you're shooting far fewer threes as a team, you have to be much more efficient than the other team is on your twos, and you have to be better on defense. If you're not effective at your 2-point shots and finishing and free throws, and you're not effective on defense, you're going to get boat raced, or you're going to get pushed up enough to where the deficit is too hard to overcome. I mean, basketball is a game of runs. The 3-point shot has effectively eliminated any lead from being too big. But if the Mavericks aren't going to take them, if you get down by too much, you're using so much energy digging out of the hole. Again, preseason game. We'll see how it goes. We've talked at length about how the early portion of the schedule may not matter. Like, they're just going to kick the crud out of teams. But I mean, this was the first few minutes of the second half really just sort of spoke to it. It's like they come out and all of a sudden they're down 15 again. And it's like, what, guys, what are we doing? I'm trying not to overreact too much to the score in so much as I am like the situations which led to the score.
Yeah, the score doesn't bother me as much as, some body language and some effort level stuff, that I don't know how much we want to get into, but
we should after the break. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Like that stuff wasn't great. Yeah. The Cooper flag run was great. I mean, the flag, you look at like Lively had 10, 6, 3, 2 steals, 2 blocks.
Lively was awesome.
PJ had 3 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. PJ has looked really good in the preseason. I mean, it's only been 2 games, and it's kind of a shame. I don't know if it's a shame is the right word, but like it's wild to me a dude as talented as him is coming off the bench. But
did you see that Euro step from Lively?
From Lively? That's what I was saying last year. It was so disappointing that everything kind of fell off because there were moments where you were like, oh, he's doing stuff. Like, he's already picking up like this stuff where he's like, oh, okay, I need to do this. I need to add this. I need to add this. I need to add this to my game. Obviously he's not going to be shooting threes. He shot 1. That was a miss, but that's okay. He doesn't need to. But yeah, he looked great. Offensively, the starters, Cooper was good with his jumper. There was a really funny moment. I don't know if it's really funny, but there was a moment he missed a midi in the second quarter, and Anthony Davis and Derek Lively are both standing within like 4 feet of each other near the rim. And like, I need to find the shot, go back and rewatch the game and find the screenshot. Maybe write about it or something. But when Cooper takes the shot, it's like 4 or 5 Charlotte jerseys all standing in the paint because there's no one on the 3-point line besides Klay and D'Angelo. Cooper shooting a midi, and then Davis and Lively are both near the rim.
You probably don't have the juice for this just because we're both tired from life, but like if you have the ability to clip those, like just like the screenshot of what you're talking about, that's like
I know
300 words of that is just sort of, it's the yin to the yang of like the differences of what we're going to see. Because I mean, some nights, guys, it's just not going to matter. If the Mavericks are able to bully certain teams, like they're going to play Washington twice in the first 20 games, and I'm just like they're gonna destroy that team.
Yes, absolutely. We can get it. What are we at? We're at 16 minutes. Yeah, let's wait for the break for my other points. Okay.
All right, I'll take a quick break here, guys. So if you could go ahead and listen to the ads, that would be great. Josh and I would very much appreciate that because that's one of the only two ways we actually make money off of this is the audio ads. And then as you guys can see in the show notes and in the YouTube, I am just posting a PayPal link if you guys would like to support the show directly, and I would appreciate that. I'll also turn on my notifications at some point, and maybe we'll get and I'll shout people out. So we'll be right back. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. Okay, we are back. Thanks so much once again. If you are new to the show and you have takes, I'm going to hang out a little bit afterwards. I know my man Brian definitely has takes. I know my man Brandon has some takes. So we can join the show. It's one of my favorite things that we do. I'm going to get used to the cadence of it again. So I'm going to be trying to do it if Josh and I do all 4 preseason games. We may not, depending on if they sit everyone. But, you know, they play the Lakers out in Las Vegas. I'm pretty sure it's like there's just enough reason for us to podcast after every show that we'll probably do one, which means I'll do a secondary after show where you can come hang out. Interacting with the fans of the show and other fans of the Mavericks is one of my favorite things about this, and that's why I keep doing it. So hang around after that. If you're watching live, if you're listening on the audio feed, that'll get posted to your feed later if the show is long enough. If it's not, I'll just tack it on to the end of this podcast. Okay, so when we stopped before the break, we were about ready to land into the things about this game. You know, we've lauded the guys that we think we did well. We probably didn't speak enough about PJ. I think PJ I have a high enough baseline for him now that I don't want to give him generic praise because I think he's good. And the expectations I have for him are to continue to be good. What was sort of stanky?
Anthony Davis. Like, I don't know how else to say it. Like, he didn't play a good game. And I think we're allowed to say he didn't play a good game without everyone like losing their minds. Like, he didn't play a good game. Like, what do you want me to say? If you don't think it matters, then you need to not tune in and like log off. Because if this doesn't matter, then why do you care? Like, if it's preseason and this stuff doesn't matter and it doesn't bother you, then it shouldn't make you angry if I say that, you know, he didn't play a good game. And if it doesn't matter, like, why does Cooper Flagg looking awesome in the preseason matter, but Anthony Davis looking crappy in the preseason not matter? And I know that's kind of a straw man. There's reasons. Anthony Davis was hurt and couldn't train. He's out of shape. He's trying to work his way back into shape. I get it. But like, you know, like
I heard it from the same people about
Luka. What it is.
It was the exact same arguments from Luka. It's like, oh, this doesn't matter. And it's like they traded him because of it, so it ended up mattering. So one thing I'd like with Davis, so I want to talk offense first about Davis. They need to run an easy button play for him early. I hate
any easy button stuff for him tonight compared to the first game.
Looking shots. Yep. 17 footers that hit the front of the rim and fall down. No, thank you. No, thank you.
He stood in the corner a lot tonight, which is like, I get it. Like, we're going to be beating this. Everyone is, not just us, national media, other Mavs podcasts, other NBA podcasts. Like, this is not an original take. Like, for the Mavericks offense to be successful, if Davis wants to play the 4, they have to really lean into these big pick and roll combinations, dribble handoff, Anthony Davis as a hub, as a passer, taking advantage of his on-ball skills, which he does have. He's a very good passer. Mm-hmm. And turning him, you know, maybe not a true point forward, but getting weird with it. Don't just, you know, run inverted pick and rolls. Do stuff like that. Do high-low action, you know, run offense through him at the elbow and the nail. But the thing about that is, this isn't like 2K. Like, you can't run the same stuff. Like, you can't just spam the best play over and over again. That's not how it works. I remember Warriors fans and national media used to lose their minds during the Steph KD Warriors era because they would never run Steph KD pick and rolls until like the playoffs. And it's like, they're like, just do it. And it's like, I get it. And they probably should have done it more back then. And the Mavericks should still do it more tonight because they really didn't do a lot of it tonight. But also you can't do it like every play. Like you could say it, but it's just not how it works. It's just not human nature. I don't think they're gonna put Anthony Davis at the elbow and run the offense through him.
But I don't want Anthony Davis ISOs. I don't want that.
But you have to find the balance. Like you can't do what they did tonight, which was he just kind of stood in the corner.
I mean, it's incredible. Like they started off the second half going to him twice, and he makes 2 baskets, and then the Mavericks went down even more. And I'm just like, the ball has energy, and he's not a super effective isolation scorer, except for when he is. And there are nights where he's just lights out. I mean, he was 6 of 12 from the floor tonight. He missed 2 threes, and he missed 2 other long jumpers in the first half that I was like, oh God. And I don't remember. I remember he had a nice oop dunk. Like, I just want to get him going near the basket. That's all.
Yep.
And he did drive it a couple of times, but there was some, I don't know.
It's hard to drive when there's another center on the floor.
That's true. And that's not on him. Like, that's the nature of the way this offense goes.
Well, Kirk, is it on him if he insists on playing the 4 with another center?
Yes.
I mean,
and that, like, he's just like, and that.
I'm not trying to be an asshole, but like, I get it.
It just looks so awkward, and and there are going to be nights where it looks great. I'm just, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, offense. Let's talk about the defense part.
I'm just gonna say, I'll just wrap it up by saying, like you say, you want to get him easy buckets and you want to get him to the rim. I mean, the way you do that is you don't have another big man,
sitting here's where explain this to me then. So when PJ goes in effectively for AD, they're running stuff where PJ's driving to the center and dropping dimes to Lively and making nice little bunny hooks and doing a lot more just active things with the ball where it doesn't feel like the ball's gone to this person to die. Anthony Davis can pass. Like, this is
I mean, the difference is teams probably respect PJ Washington's jumper more than they respect AD's. And so
what about the driving ability? Like, is it just have
I
just not seen enough Anthony Davis lately? I don't know.
I mean, right now PJ is a faster player than Anthony Davis right now. I mean, like, that's indisputable, right? Like, AD's trying to work himself back into shape. He was off his feet for 3 months with an eye surgery that tells him, hey, you can't do anything strenuous because this is a very serious recovery. So, I mean, to me, PJ looks faster than Anthony Davis right now. And I don't think that's controversial.
Sure. Okay. I mean, I just asked this because it's like, remember when they used to post Dirk up at the nail back in the day? Like, the center of the floor is the hardest place to defend. And the Mavericks, I think, have guys that are pretty good at attacking the center of the floor.
Davis can be pretty good too. When he's right, I actually don't mind him catching the ball there and that quick pivot first step move. It's when he's hovering around the 3-point line where it's bad. When the play starts with him beyond the 3-point line, I think that's usually when it's worse.
Okay. I think that's a good just sort of differentiating point for basing arguments where it's just like, look where he's starting with the play. Because in the second half, the 2 baskets that he made to start the second half, he started within 12 to 14 feet of the basket each time and scored the shots.
Makes a big difference.
I'm sorry. We're working through this together, guys. This is the point. It's why we have these discussions. I know a lot about basketball, but I don't know. There's a shit ton I don't know about basketball, and it's worth just sort of hashing through. All right. Defensively, where did you think he would? Because he was really he was a pain. He was much worse on defense. Like, the defense was actually the problem. The offense is what it is.
Yeah. And the thing about defense that concerned me is not scheme, but effort. And if that's part of him working himself into shape or whatever, okay. But that's what happened tonight. He didn't look good. He was jogging back on defense a lot in transition. Wasn't getting out to, like, the stuff where he has to guard a perimeter player is one of those things where it's like, I don't want to blame him because he shouldn't be asked to do that. But then it comes back to, well, he's asking to play this position and he's kind of putting himself in this situation. So it actually kind of is his fault. Like, he could just play the 5 and he wouldn't have to go guard 3-point shooters as often. So it's a little catch-22 there. But so that stuff I try to, I don't want to get too much into. I don't want to get bogged down there. But he can control his effort level in transition, and if it's coming down to he doesn't have his wind to get back in transition, then they got 11 days till the season starts, and these games actually count.
Wow.
And the West is hard, and they can't afford, if AD still needs another week or two to get in shape after the season starts, and they lose some games because of that, like they don't have the margin of error to lose some games early, especially with how favorable their schedule is to start the season, and then how much it gets harder as it goes on. Like they really need, like we talked about this in the summer, like they need to, their first 20 games, they need to be like 12-8, like 13-7 or better, because
I think they stand a very good chance.
Absolutely, yeah. But they have to. But yeah, you go now. You say what you want to say.
Sorry, go
ahead.
I got a DM from somebody to confuse me. So I just sort of tweeted about the jogging back on defense because, like, guys, like I saw a lot of it at the end of last season in the few games that he played.
Yep,
saw some of it tonight. He jogged.
I didn't hammer him enough about it last season because he was playing through the abdominal injury,
and he really does. There's some plays he just fucking jogs back.
Yeah,
and this killed me. Somebody responded to my tweet and it said, "At least he's doing it because he's lazy, not because he's arguing with refs."
Is that an improvement?
I don't know, but it just it hit me right. Where I'm like, all right, this is good stuff. He
doesn't really refs that much, so this is a good point.
I like that. I like that thought process. It was just so sassy. So I don't know. What else should we do?
I think something that disappointed me in the game, the starters got pretty much boat raced for the 3 quarters. Like we talked about that. You look at the plus minus. I know box score plus minus isn't great, but I thought it told the story a little bit tonight. The Charlotte starters outplayed the Dallas starters. Like that happened. You can't deny that. And that it happens. Okay, flush it. Bad game. I think something that was a little disappointing was then the fourth quarter when both teams were playing, like the first 2 to 3 minutes of the fourth quarter, both teams were still playing like their real backups and not like the two-way guys and the training camp invites. Like, and Charlotte kind of put it to them too when PJ was on the floor. PJ was still playing hard, but it was like PJ. I think Powell was on the floor. I can't remember who else was on the floor, but it was the first couple of minutes of the fourth when the Mavericks still had Najee was on the floor. I think Max Christie was on the floor. Like guys that are still going to be Jaden Hardy, like guys that they're going to have to count on. And then Charlotte was playing like their normal backups, and Charlotte like built the lead right back up to start that fourth quarter. And it didn't get low again until the training camp invite level guys closed out the game, which was fun. I kind of like.
I did like that.
Guys. But that part disappointed me because I was like, man, if there was one takeaway from the first half of the game, it was like, well, the starters didn't bring it, but some of those bench lineups look great. And then the start of the fourth quarter happens, and that group kind of gives it away. But by then, maybe they're checked out because the game's kind of getting away from them. But that was just a little dispiriting. I don't think if people think we're being too mean about a preseason game, I don't think Mavs coaches would disagree with us that this will probably not be a fun film session game. Like I don't even know how you could argue that.
No, and this game has some weird numbers too affiliated with it. So Tanya earlier pointed to the rebounding. The Mavericks lost the rebounds by 19. This is a riot. The Mavericks had 23 stocks combined.
They had a lot, yeah.
And the Hornets had 6. And the Mavericks lost. Like
that's preseason basketball right there.
That's preseason basketball. Like the Mavericks had 38 fast break points to the Charlotte Hornets 10. Some of that's the run towards the end. I mean, there's just some weird like that.
Charlotte had 25 turnovers. The Mavericks scored 41 points off those 25 turnovers. That's a fun stat.
Just some weird and the Hornets are just they're a weird team.
They're carnival basketball.
We didn't get to see former Mavericks Josh Green out with I think shoulder surgery. We didn't get to see Grant Williams out with that ACL tear. Very unfortunate. That happened last season for anybody who forgot. We did get to see Spencer Dinwiddie, which amused me. Shout out to Spencer, the Mavericks Iron Man from last year.
He made a couple of shots.
Which
was funny.
So did anybody from like the let's just say the end of bench Mavericks, did anything kind of jump out there from you? Because like we do gotta hit on this, I think, briefly before we go. Dante Exum is out in perpetuity. We don't know. Yeah. Like
literally,
fuck? Like what in the fuck? Like and someone's like, oh, we got to move on from him. I'm pretty sure they can't cut him because then they're hard capped because he signed a guaranteed contract.
That's why they got rid of Omax for him.
They got rid of Omax for him, and now he's injured in perpetuity. Like Dr. Nick or Dr. Spichemin, who is running? How?
Yeah, that's not a good look that you kind of have to do that kind of roster juggling to get him back on the team, and then he's got
and then that. When you need him, like because the number of guys that didn't play tonight, and granted, at least half of them were training camp invitee guys, but there was a guy who
Brandon Williams.
There was Brandon Williams is out with hamstring, but there was somebody else that the Mavericks signed him going through. He's not on the play-by-play, but they signed him to a deal, and he's been in practice. Some 6'9" guy everybody's raving about, and then he doesn't play. And I'm sorry, I'm ranting now because the Dante thing just pisses me off because I was kind of arguing with Dalton Trigg about this. He's like, oh, who cares if we're hard capped? And I'm like, I do, because if we're hard capped, if they had to cut someone to sign Dennis, for example, and then they're hard capped, they can't make any trades. That means this is the team. Now, if we do that and then I get to crucify Nico on podcasts all year, sign me up. Because I would complain about roster management.
Caleb Martin didn't play.
Caleb Martin out with being Caleb Martin is what I have to assume.
Is that what it says in the box score? DNP is Caleb Martin.
It's like the old DNP old.
D&D, yeah.
That was a good one. Delano Blanton. Thank you guys. They said he wouldn't play. I know, but it's like I don't want to. You guys got to understand. There's so many things that was awesome and frustrating when the Mavericks were peak contenders, but one of those things was not having to care about the end of bench because your rotation was what mattered. And unfortunately, the Mavericks rotation is so wonky. It's not bad. It's weird that we have to care about these guys.
Because they need the time to figure it out.
Dennis Smith played like 3 minutes, and it's just like, he played 6 minutes. And it's, what do we, I'm griping at this point. I did have a great time. I like feeling things about these Mavericks. That in and of itself is nice. I'm sure I'm going to get yelled at. Oh, Kirk's mad. Man, we're mad. This doesn't mean anything. It's like you said, if it doesn't mean anything, then why are you watching? Go do something else.
Right. We'll see you in 11 days. And
yes.
It'll be fun. I like Cisse. That's what I wanted to say before we left. I like Cisse.
He was apparently, I don't remember this, but he was apparently quite the recruit in high school. Kind of an odd college thing. I think he was like Big 12 something or other for like at one point. He's a big dude. If the Mavs didn't have 37 centers,
I know.
2022 Dallas Mavericks would love this guy.
I like him. I mean, obviously that first Thunder preseason game is hard to judge because no one played. But he also, like, I don't know, he gets on the floor and he's like doing stuff. I mean, he has 5 blocks. He has 5 blocks in like under 25 minutes. It's pretty good.
I mean, give a shit is a skill. It just is.
Yes, he does give a shit when he's on the floor. I like that. And he's fun.
You know, when the other Mavericks, and this wasn't just AD, this was the other Mavericks not rebounding for most of the game, it starts to stand out. Did I just wake my child up?
I doubt they're going to be able. I mean, he's like a training camp guy too, but like he would be fun. You know, when the inevitable injury, if the injuries bug does hit them again, like I would like to watch him play 20 minutes instead of like, you know, Moses Brown or something.
Well, maybe that'll be fun. Like, and that's why I kind of think we might have to keep podcasting, just because I think there are things to talk about with some of these guys. Even if it's they're not going to be at the Mavericks, but it's fun to watch them. So we'll see. We'll see how Monday goes. Expect a podcast.
Yeah.
Just because I think Josh and I need to get back in the habit. Like it's a preseason for us too. Stuff at Mavs Moneyball. Consider reading. They're I enjoy being site runner when people all of a sudden start writing things, and it's like very fun. We're getting the Mavericks green uniforms back. Kind of confirmed that the other day. There's a lot of good stuff. Is there anything else you got on your chest before you get out of Dodge?
No, that's good. What we talked all 36 minutes about a preseason game, so that's a win.
And I'm going to hang out for those of you on the live stream. Everybody else,
you're going to have a fun live stream, I think.
Yeah, we'll see. We got some folks in here. It's a lively crowd. If you are listening on the podcast, be looking for that live stream at some point on Sunday afternoon or either Monday morning. I'm not sure. Josh and I will be back on Monday night. Everyone, I'm trying to find my share link. Everyone else, hang tight, or we'll see you in a little bit. I'm going to let Josh go here once I figure out how to actually.
I'll get to editing our post-game stuff.
That's right. All right, guys, talk soon. Go Mavs. Welcome back to Pod Maverick After Dark. This is going to be a group therapy session. Haven't had to do one of those in a very, very, very long time. I am Kirk Henderson. Welcome once again to Pod Mavericks Group Therapy, the show where we complain about the Dallas Mavericks because they lost. I'm not that mad, though. It was a preseason game. It is what it is. But we got to stick with branding of our shows here. If you're unfamiliar with our shows, this is the one where you can join and talk to me directly. There's a link in the YouTube Live, really easy to click into. I'll probably share it a couple of other places, Twitter and whatnot. You can join a room. I bring you up here to talk with me. And if you are at all familiar with how to use technology, it's easy to do through your phone or through your computer. You don't have to show your face, though. I do like talking to something other than a blank screen. And we'll hang out until all of the takes are out of us. It is Saturday night, about 10:45. I got my guy Brian waiting. So we'll start off with Brian, and everybody else that wants to join, please do. What's up, brother?
Man, can you hear me?
Yes, you sound good.
Okay. What the fuck did I just watch, dude?
I had a good time. It was weird.
It was a good time when Anthony Davis was not on the court. It was definitely weird. It was fun watching our front court of the future play together. There's not a single person with the letter G next to their name on the roster that will be here in like a year or two. So I don't know what's going to happen with the guards. Max Christie stunk. D'Lo wasn't good.
Talk to me. Okay, I saw you that. So maybe I just wasn't watching correctly. Talk to me about Tanya in the chat was also saying this. What did Max Christie do to us today? What happened?
Well, the first way to answer that is nothing, which is kind of the problem. The second way is really in a lot of the same way that Tanya put it in the chat. He was making the wrong decision almost every single time off the catch as far as what he needed to do offensively. Okay. And then on defense, he was the exact same fake Josh Green point of attack defender that we figured that he was. And that's, that's kind of disappointing, but that is what it is. We kind of figured out that's what that was last year. I'm not really expecting much from him on defense, but if he's not going to hit shots and then he's not going to make the correct decision to attack off the catch, I don't know what he's out there for. He's just like a body.
So funny because we were so high on him, and I think we might get there again. He played so much last year. He came into Dallas. He had that kind of crazy 15-point game streak to start his play with the Mavericks.
Mhm.
And if you go look at the data, it's kind of obvious that he was just connecting on a lot of long twos, which unless you're Dirk Nowitzki, Joel Embiid, or Steph Curry, or Kevin Durant, like just doesn't matter.
Not sustainable. Yeah.
Because it's just not sustainable. It's not that it's terrible, but it's just not great. But it's funny about Christie because when I go through my rotation guys, I have him in the like 9th to 10th man range right now. And I don't really see how he works into higher because he's not consistent enough at anything that the Mavericks need right now. Like they need some things, don't get me wrong, but he's not that answer, at least not right now.
Yeah. And like, I would like to see him next to like an actual playmaker in most of, if not all of his minutes. It's tough when they're trying to run the offense through AD or shoving him in the corner where his man can like freely help off of him because he's not going to fucking do anything from the corner. He's not going to shoot. Who cares? Let him shoot. Right. So yeah, this offense thing is going to be wonky, but that's not even the frustrating part. The frustrating part, well, I mean, it's part of it because I fucking told people this is what it was going to look like. The stupid double big shit that they're trying to commit to was going to look stupid and look wonky against any team with any kind of reasonable, like, shifty scoring guard play, right? Or any power forward with any kind of speed or lateral ability, he who shall not be named. But if you go on the other end, right, there was so much walking on defense. There was so much looking around and pointing and turning in place at the free throw line, and it all came from like two people.
Name them. Let's name them. It's fine.
Okay, like obviously is Anthony Davis.
I know one of them. I'm curious is the other one. I'm trying to think.
I'll save it on the other guy because he was trying. Okay. At a certain point, the plot was lost, and it's like, okay, you can't really regain it, and it's not like one of our core guys anyway. So I'm not really sweating it. It was D'Lo. It was D'Lo. Like, and it's fine because I was expecting him to perform poorly on defense. He wasn't giving like terrible effort the entire time he was out there. He just wasn't good, and that's fine because he mostly did what we needed him to on offense. He didn't make shots, but he did everything else. And it's like, you know what? This is kind of the D'Lo experience. You know, it's hot and cold. This was a cold game, and it coincided with Anthony Davis running out there looking like me. So, you know, it just is what it is. I'm not going to harp on him too much because I'll expect him to be better going forward because he came in the training camp in shape, and at the very least is going to be in shape and knowing the plays by the time we get to the start of the season. I can't say that for number 3. And he's kind of like holding up everything on both ends. Like, we can't use all the extra size that we have in this double big lineup to be a legitimately great rebounding team because just because you're tall doesn't mean you're getting too long rebounds and you're getting to even like shorter rebounds that are like around the rim. If it's like 5-6 feet away from him, he's not getting to it. The other team is.
So how much of that is preseason?
Here's the thing. With the way he looks right now, I'm not willing to chalk any of it up to preseason.
Okay.
Because if he looks like this in 2.5 weeks, that's what's going to happen no matter who we play in the regular season. Because the other team is going to be playing hard too. The other team lollygags during preseason too. And we still got our faces raised off by the Charlotte Hornets starters.
Oh, Miles Bridges always seems to just be like, fuck Dallas. I don't.
Well, it's because we usually don't have like a power forward who's nearly as like athletic as he is, and we sure didn't have it tonight. At least not when Anthony Davis was in there. We looked a lot better when it was PJ and Cooper and Lively, and so we had 3 dudes who we either were bigger than him. Well, yeah, all 3 of them are bigger than him, about as fast as he is, strong and athletic, and could like keep pace with him. When Anthony Davis was out there, it was free eats. He was like a Jokic level turnstile at the free throw line. It was real bad.
I don't know. You're more fired up about this than I am. I was more. I don't know. I guess I did get all of my my frustration out about Anthony during. It's to me, effort fixes so much on a basketball court. It really does. Like effort. It's why I like watching Najee Marshall, because he just sort of plays with a pretty consistent high motor. That's why Flag, like it effort is what takes Flag into the generational category, because he's kind of a psycho.
Now, effort is why PJ Washington was one of the best defensive rebounders in the league last year.
Yeah,
he's one of the best rebounders on the team.
Coming from a Charlotte team where he had developed some sort of lethargic habits, and it turns stuff around. And so I'm sort of trying to hedge when I'm discussing this, because I don't want to say, oh, I don't think it'll happen in the regular season, because part of me is like, we've seen some of it in the regular season, and I need these things to work themselves out. And what I really need, and this is the part, this is just me whining, I really need people to stop telling me I'm not seeing the things I'm seeing.
Agreed.
Like, it's just like tape exists. And I dealt with this sort of stuff with Luka defenders when I would criticize him too, where it's like, well, of course he was, giving a soliloquy to a referee because blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, I don't care. Like, it happened. That's the point. And it's fixable, because some of these things are really just play a little harder. Focus on make the main thing the main thing. And so that's, ranting and raving too much about a preseason game. I think we're running the risk of exposing ourselves a little bit, but I could see why like the chat is sort of fired up over this, because I think we just, when you play an actual NBA team versus the Thunder's freshman B team, you want to see a little more. And we did in certain spurts from certain groups, and then the other guys, it just didn't look great. And I just don't know how much of this is downhill from like flat out roster construction too. Like, you and I are both, we really enjoy the NFL. And one of the things I enjoy, or at least laugh about when talking with people who don't pay much attention to the NFL, is that there's a kind of a lack of understanding of what happens when one starter of a lineup gets pulled or isn't playing the way they're envisioned to play. It just changes the rest of the way the team plays. Basketball is not quite that stark unless it's your best player.
Right. Yep.
That's sort of what.
This is the player everything is oriented around.
Right. Our friend SJ said on Twitter tonight that Flag's the best player in the Mavericks right now. And I saw 3 or 4 big accounts be like, whoa, 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 whoa. And it's like,
are y'all watching this game? Yeah. Like, and like, that's the thing. Even going back to like your point about effort. Yes, this is preseason. Yes, this is confirmation bias. I don't care. I've been saying this all summer, and I'm seeing it right in front of my face. But one thing you can't deny, we're talking about effort. We're talking about poor construction. Kirk, who did we name when we are talking about poor effort? Of all the guys on the team that touched the floor tonight, guys got beat, guys got like cooked on the perimeter, but who was out there giving consistently poor effort? It's one dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's AD. He was pretty bad. He was a negative 31 at one point, guys. Like,
which I don't know how you do that against the Charlotte.
Well, I mean, he was on the butt into some runs where he was just not him, but like he was out there during some frustrating parts. But it's downhill from his effort. Like, it is attached to that.
Yep. It's frustrating. It is confirmation bias. I don't care that it's confirmation bias, because it's confirming something that I thought was fairly obvious, and everybody yelled at me and told me, like, no, that's definitely not going to be what's going to happen.
Well, Kevin in the chat says something I like, and I think I want to pivot briefly because I just don't want to be a shit for 20 minutes. It's no fun. He says, preseason, people, this is where you try sit and shit and see what works. Winning isn't technically the goal. What did work for you? What were you like? This is good.
So through 2 preseason games now, Cooper, Flag, and PJ, and just those 2, that works. We can lock it in. That works. We don't have to have any more questions about whether Cooper at the 3 and PJ at the 4. Whether you can do that
doesn't matter. Works. It's an interchangeable. When those 2 are on the floor together with the center, and it could be AD. It's Lively, AD, whoever. Fine. I like it.
Yeah, it looked best tonight with Lively, just because Lively was the big that was playing the best. It looked really good when Dwight Powell was out there. It also looked good when Najee was there as a secondary playmaker, and he was basically playing the 2.
Okay.
And Najee was giving like much better effort. Like I was commenting during the stream, the playback, that Najee looked much better and much more active defensively, like so far into this preseason than he did last year, when that was kind of what we brought him in to do, as far as like replacing Derrick Jones Jr.'s role as a point of attack defender. He looked a lot more active. His hands were all over the place the way that we're kind of used to, and he was still giving us a bit of the ball handling, attacking off the catch, trying to do some of the finishing. Couldn't really get any of the floaters to go down today, but he hit a 3 off the catch that looked pretty smooth. And so, like, okay, if we're gonna get more of that, then you can talk me more into, okay, sure, Clay, you could start, because Clay also, even though he was getting kind of fried on defense, he came in, he hit 4 threes. So
Okay.
you're doing your job, right? Regardless, you didn't give up. You weren't playing with poor effort. You got fried, but you kept running back and forth and do what you were supposed to do, and you knocked down open shots when you needed to. That's all I'm going to ask of Clay at this point. Mm-hmm. And when Najee came in and PJ came in, they ran. They blew the other team's face off for, I don't know, 4 or 5 straight minutes. And then we brought, I think it was like either a full hockey sub or just AD, and I think maybe Max Christie came back in. And the run was over from there. But I liked what I saw from the 2 wings that I think we should be carrying forward, like looking further into the future, just with like Flag and with PJ, but even them and Lively together. And then if you want to rope Najee into that too, that's perfectly fine. They all looked really good together, and I was pleased with what I saw from them on both ends. They were just so versatile. They were so switchable defensively. And they all just looked like they knew what to do with the ball, and they didn't really look like they were trying to sort things out or figure things out offensively. They knew where the ball needed to go. They were quick to make a decision with it. Nobody really held it. It didn't stick anywhere. There's some smaller things you can nitpick between those 3 to 4 guys, but that I liked. I liked a lot.
Okay. What about any is there anything from guys we haven't seen yet that you're interested in that will keep your attention over these next 2 games?
Guys we haven't seen play?
Or we haven't seen much of.
Or
like the Ryan Nembhard, I'll just give you an example. Like the Ryan Nembhard experience for me, I'm just like, whatever. And I lots of people, my friend Kevin O'Connor is like, oh, I really think he's an NBA player. And I'm just kind of like, I don't hate him. It's not like a gross negative, but given some of the Mavericks point guard issues, I sort of would have figured that he'd get a little more run with the guys who matter. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah. And like in some of the clips we saw come from training camp, he did. I just honestly think that until he is like a consistent shooter, until we know for sure he's a consistent shooter, we're probably not going to be able to see him out there, because it's not like he's getting to the rack a lot. Like he can shoot off the dribble in like the mid-range area, but the guys that we have are barely holding it together as far as spacing as is, especially with like the starting lineup with double big. Right. So if you're going to be out there and you're going to be a guard and you're going to be an undersized guard who isn't like a dog defensively, you need to be able to space. You have to be able to space the floor for us. And if the coaches don't think that he can do that, he's not going to get as much run with the big unit, unfortunately. So I could see it happen in the future if his shot improves. And I do think that he's an NBA player and that there's something there with him that we particularly can use. It remains to be seen if we're going to get there, based on
what about the guy whose name I can't remember that's playing on Monday? Do you know the 6'9" guy guard, Delano Banton? Thank you.
Oh, Delano Banton.
Yeah. Who? Like it sounds like a WWE created wrestler on like Nitro or something. I don't like, just not a real person. Who is this and why? And I don't know who he is. Talk to me.
He's like a 6'7", 6'8" point guard. Can't really shoot last I saw, and that's kind of really the thing that's kind of had him bouncing around his last couple of stops from the time that he was a rookie. I don't really know what exactly he does super well. He's a solid defender and has great length. Offensively,
I just like that you described his game the way the Bobs question everyone in Office Space. We were like, what would you say you do here, Delano?
Yeah, he's not quite at that level yet. Offensively, I think it's a fair question to ask. Like, what is it exactly that you are going to provide this team that will be enough for the coaches to want to keep you on the floor? I don't know yet. And considering we have love him to death, but out of shape Dennis Smith Jr., Ryan Nimhard, Brandon Williams on like one hamstring, and D'Lo, I would think that if he like impressed in training camp since the time he'd been brought in, he probably would have gotten some run. Maybe he will in the preseason games upcoming. But well, yeah, you already said he's playing Monday. We'll see what happens there, and we'll see what he can do. But if he can give us anything at all, and we can just kind of like retain some of this like tall ball, what's the word I'm looking for? Just like tall ball mentality that we're kind of going for, and he can give us like anything on offense. Then sure, that's fine. That's fine.
Fun.
I doubt it, but we'll see.
I mean, the Jazz is a perfect team to play guys like this against, because
if you can't get your game off against them, then
the Jazz are also just like looking for stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, that'll be nice. Really wasn't looking forward to covering these last two preseason games, but now you're showing my interest. All right, nobody else wants to join tonight. Appreciate you hanging out with me for a little bit. We'll do this again on Monday because I just need to get in the habit, and we're gonna get. I'm curious. Some of this is just audience, because there's a whole bunch of Mavs fans that are like, I'm not doing this anymore, meaning like I'm not being a Mavs fan anymore. Which was some of our audience. But I mean, I've been doing live shows like this for like 5 years now. So hopefully we'll see some people in here. I just got so lazy by the end of last year because I didn't have anything I wanted to talk about. It's like, I don't want to join and be like,
nobody wanted to talk about that team at the end of the year. Like,
yeah.
Right.
Well, and I got real bad about not doing them during the summer, but I also didn't want, like, it's starting to happen already where it's like I'm sharing an Anthony Davis opinion and I just get sniped at from people who don't share my opinion, which is fine. We don't all have to agree, but like just can't handle that other opinions exist. And that just like it wears on me after a while. I'm like, I'm glad I didn't do that all summer, because it's like, oh, we didn't have any point of reference. Now we got some stuff under the hood here so we can see where we're going. So that'll be back on Monday night, and then they have one more game against the Lakers, a home game in Las Vegas, against the Lakers, who have looked a mess, which could be fun. Oh, you know what? Briefly, let's just talk about that at the end. I hate LeBron James. Like, did you see that story Dave McMenamin put out into the universe?
What, a story? No. Are you talking? I thought we were talking about
4 ways LeBron James's season could go, and it's like, I got one way your season could go. Is how I feel about it.
Wait, what? Oh, okay, hold on. This is like, all news to me.
Oh, because he has sciatica.
Okay.
Yep. Sciatica comes from, for a man that athletic, you are either full of shit or you hurt yourself lifting, which is possible if you've ever seen workout videos of him, because he's just so dangerous. Like, neither here nor there. But the story basically comes down. I'll send you the clip. It's Dave McMenamin goes on ESPN talking about this story. And it's like acting like LeBron James has any sense of leverage in the situation whatsoever. It's like he's going to be watching the Lakers very closely. Motherfucker, you are on the team. You are on the team.
What are we doing, man? Look, here's the thing. I love LeBron. One, he's the greatest basketball player I've ever watched with my own 2 eyes. 2, he is a content machine. This is
an
awesome.
Annoying content machine. Like, this
it can be great. It can be annoying. This is definitely on the annoying end of the spectrum.
LeBron James is basketball mom talk, like just nonsense stuff about should I vaccinate my children?
LeBron is like a walking NBA Facebook post.
He's incredible at basketball. The guy in the comments with the name Best League says he's a great player. There's no question. I want to appreciate LeBron's brilliance, and what that would require is him shutting the fuck up, which has not happened for 24 years.
Ever. That's not going to happen. No,
24 years. He is the Hillary Clinton of basketball. He won't go away, and I just need him to not. Anyway, this isn't a Lakers podcast. I'm sitting here, and it's just like, can we stop sucking all the air out of the room? Because it's like then what becomes is like the low-hanging NBA content instead of basketball stuff, which guys, commenters, I can't tell you how much I appreciate the comments that were in here tonight because they're basketball comments. They're not bullshit comments. They're thoughts on the play and how the Mavericks can do better. It's not drama. It's basketball. And I love basketball. If I wanted drama, I could go to Netflix and watch Korean sitcom or K-dramas. I could watch all the K-dramas in the world. They're out there. Anyway, this is just
I'm
me
here
being
for both.
bold.
I love both. This is awesome. We're so back. You're already mad. The season haven't even started. You're already mad. We're so back.
It's good to hate. It feels good to hate again. Over something stupid. Like sports is like the last reasonable, and this is a good thing. Sports is like the last place where unfounded nonsense is allowed. You can just be like, I don't like that guy because he's going to be watching his team closely. I'll send you the clip when we're out of here.
Please do, because I want to laugh.
Everybody, Kirk. This has been Kirk Henderson, and then Brian. Brian's also a Mavs Moneyball contributor. Thanks for hanging out. Please consider joining the show next time. We will talk with you guys soon. Go Mavs.